Hello, Guardians. Welcome back to Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deering, and alongside me, as always, the Telesto coding, the raid pin swagging, the exotic book reading, lore archivist himself, Josh Finney.
Hi, Corey.
Hi, Josh.
How was your vacation?
It was good for the most part. We got rained on, but it was good. It was good. We were there during the tropical storm / category 1 hurricane / I'm not sure. It was just really windy and really rainy, and we were inside. But yeah, it was good, man. It was good.
It looked like a very relaxing vacation from the pictures I saw. Jealous of all the sandwiches.
Yeah, dude. Gotta tell you. First of all, before we get to the sandwich talk, Josh, Guardians of the Galaxy, best ride at Disney.
Is it better than Rise of the Resistance?
Yes.
Ooh, I don't know if I believe you.
No, yes it is. I think it is. It's awesome. It's awesome.
I think you're full of it, but okay. No. We will settle this when I go in February. We'll settle this.
Yeah, but I mean, I think you're a bigger Star Wars fan than I am. Like, no,
that's pretty undeniable, I think.
Yeah, so, like, I think at this point it's just probably...
Corey, I openly weeped on Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah. Yeah, that ride.
There were actual tears in my eyes.
God, dude, that ride, though, Rise of the Resistance, though, man, what an experience. Dude, that whole thing, just...
I mean, like, okay, so, like, it's... Every, like, couple of years, you know, Disney will have a ride, and it's, like, amazing, and then Universal goes and does something that's, like, just as good, if not better, right? Mm-hmm. And it's, like, this war of attrition. But then, for, like, years at least. And then Avatar happened. And I don't know that they've done anything to top Avatar since it came out. Like, in terms of, like, an experience. Like, in terms of a pure ride, like, yeah, the Velocicoaster is really dope. Mm-hmm. And some of the Harry Potter stuff is really cool, but, man...
Well, they're building a whole third park, so maybe.
Avatar and Rise of the Resistance are, like, those are special. Yeah. And I've heard nothing but good things about Guardians from you and a few other friends who have been there.
Oh, dude.
I want to do Guardians. We didn't get to do Ratatouille when we were there.
Ratatouille was awesome, too.
And it's looking like Tron might be open when we go.
Yeah, it's going to be close.
It's going to be real close. If it's open, it's going to be like the week it's opening.
Yeah.
I really hope that Tron is, but at the same time, I'm like, I kind of hope it's not, just so I have an excuse to come back sooner.
Yeah.
My girlfriend has bought tickets to go to Disneyland next summer with her sister and a few friends, and I'm really, really jealous because I don't want to go with them, but I do want to go do all the Avengers stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'm very upset that they will be there and they are not going to do the Tower of Terror Guardians version.
What? Why?
Because none of them like rides that drop.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I'm really bummed out that they're not going to do that. I'm like, so all you're going to do is Spider-Man? She's like, no, because I'm the only one who cares about that. I was like, why are you going then?
Dude, I have to say...
I'm sending her with a shopping list because they are going to go to Universal and go to Super Nintendo World.
Ooh.
And I'm sending her with a shopping list and an extra suit. No joke. I'm actually buying her another suitcase for Christmas for this vacation. So that she can just fill it up with Nintendo stuff and bring it home for me. Maybe I'll, like, hawk some of the stuff off to Ed for, like, 3 times the price. Kidding. I love you, Ed. I don't know if you listen to this. I love you.
I don't know if he does.
I will set up a Nintendo... I don't know, eBay shop or something. Y'all get ready. I don't have to go to Japan for this shit now.
Yeah. That's coming to Universal Orlando too, right? At some point.
2024, I think?
Yeah, it's going to be part of the third park.
It is. It's like the marquee thing in the third park. Like, so their third park, it's supposed to be, like, that's the big draw, is Super Nintendo World.
Right.
And it's supposed to have the Mario Kart ride, the Yoshi's ride, and apparently like a Donkey Kong coaster.
Right. The minecart ride or something, right?
Something. I don't know. Like, oh, cool. Have fun with that. Live Donkey Konga competitions or bust.
Right. Guess we'll find out.
Would you ever want like a Destiny ride in a theme park?
Man, I don't know. What would you even do?
Sparrow Racing League.
Yeah, but wouldn't that just be Tron? essentially.
Yeah, but with Nolan North and Glint talking to you.
Yeah, yeah,
What if you could get Lance Reddick narrating Sparrow Racing League? Would you not take that?
I mean, yeah,
What if you could
but
meet Commander Zavala?
I mean that would be kind of weird. I don't know, man. I
That'd
don't.
be great. Bring
mm,
it on, man. It's just the Blue Man Group with additional prosthetics. That's all it is.
I guess, but man, I don't know. I don't know. There's something weird about video games and theme parks for me, I
Would you
guess.
want to see an animatronic Oryx?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I want like a Rise of the Resistance ride, but for King's Fall.
That could be really cool. I really hope that they would advertise it as "Come Ride the Wall of Dicks."
Bah. What if your cart was just one of the dicks from the wall?
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Well, we'll have to watch and see if Sony decides to make a theme park down the line.
I'm glad my wife just walked past me as I said that, and I don't know what's going through her mind, but she didn't stop, so.
What if your vehicle was one of the dicks? Oh man, Corey mentioned before we get into it, I talked about it last week. I finally got my raid seal in for Vow of the Disciple, and this is really cool. I'm going to turn my light on, so if you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. The box is really nice, and God, there's such a bad glare because I'm holding it so close. But it's the Vow of the Disciple. Vow of the Disciple symbol, and then inside, it's very nice, very green pin that has the symbol for the raid in the middle, and then there are 6 ships up at the top and the raid symbol at the bottom. They're doing these for the raids and the dungeons now, so I'm very excited for that. It's yet something else for me to spend my hard-earned cash on.
Yeah.
We all know I'm a slut for pins.
You are.
So
You're a pin slut.
and then I got my volume 1 of the Exotic Collection in.
We
This
both
is
did.
the weirdest book. It's hard to hold. It's hard to put on a shelf. It's really nice inside. But it's a challenge, man. It's a challenge to hold this thing. It's a challenge to put it on a shelf. I'm going to have to display this, which I'm not a big fan of doing with books.
Yeah. I don't know what
I don't know where it's going to live at on my shelf/desk.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with it, but
I tried putting it on the shelf, and at least 40% of the book was hanging off the side, and I'm like, oh man, if I don't get it all the way on there, that thing's definitely going to fall off in the middle of the night.
I feel like it's just going to lay sideways on top of my lore books.
Dude, it might be too long to do that.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah. The weight balance might not be there. But irregardless, it is a really nice book. I just was taken aback by it's half the height that I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Which I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah. Josh.
I got something in my eye. Yes.
I did. I told you before we started recording, but I did have 10 Earl of sandwiches on this
Jesus
vacation.
Christ. We made it to the sandwich casuals portion of the show.
We did. Sandwich casuals. Let me tell you.
The top 3 sandwiches you had while you were there, Corey.
Top 3. I enjoyed so I got the Chipotle chicken avocado for the first time.
Ooh.
And that's a special sandwich.
I mean, it's no Hawaiian barbecue.
No.
But...
Yeah, but see, I didn't have the option for Hawaiian barbecue because
I know.
And also,
I know.
Also, I was also very disappointed because I forgot that they don't have the wedges anymore and they're tots now.
Dude, nobody wants tots over wedges.
No, especially Earl's wedges. Earl's wedges were crispy and delicious.
They were so good. Well, so the last time I had them, when we went last fall, my wedges were actually kind of burned.
Huh.
I was not a fan. I was rather upset.
Oh. Nobody likes burned wedges.
Nobody likes burned wedges, my friend.
No. Let's see. Number 2, Josh. 2, I think, would be I'm going to go with the best BLT, Josh. I had a best BLT. Crowd pleaser. Very good. Lots of bacon. Lots of crispy bacon. Very crisp.
Crispy bacon.
very delicious. And then Josh, I have to say, the original, Josh, the original,
The Earl's Club.
no, the original, the roast beef, the
Oh,
original.
the roast beef. Got
Yeah.
you. Got you.
Yeah, I did have 2 clubs because the club is the club. It's amazing.
The club is great.
But man, that first original I had, perfect. Melted cheese, the roast beef, the horseradish sauce, hot.
He took the roast beef.
Yeah. I also had a ham and cheese and a club, and then I bought a bunch of sandwiches to take back to the room too, Josh. Because if we're gonna be reined
you had
in,
to get the provisions.
because if we were gonna be reined in, Josh, we had a microwave too, which meant I could heat up my Earl, right?
Right.
So I wasn't gonna be stuck with cafeteria.
Did you
food.
have a spicy chicken waffle sandwich for me?
I did not, because the day I was gonna eat it, we did not get to go to the parks. I know. I'm quite upset. I'm quite upset about the spicy chicken waffle situation, Josh. Very upset.
I would be too.
Very, very upset. But you know what I did have, Josh? I did have a Ronto wrap and 4 cups of blue milk.
Oof. Now, I don't have 4 cups of blue milk when I go anymore. Number one, because I mean, like, even though it's not actually milk, that when we typically go when it's pretty hot in the summer, I can't do more than just a cup. But I also get mine spiked.
Yeah.
And listen, nobody wants to get trashed at Hollywood Studios. You do that at Epcot, where you can go sit in the American Adventure for like 3 hours.
Yeah, here's the thing.
And listen to the Ben Franklin animatronic talk to you.
Yeah, and the Mark Twain.
Ugh.
How long until they like redo that?
Oh man, I was just thinking. I was like, man, there's only one notable racist of that duo there. Oh man. Soon? How soon do they take out the Hall of Presidents?
Yeah. No, I think that's a mainstay. I think that's gonna stay.
I mean, the rate we're going, we may need to take it out.
I mean, yeah. Well,
oh man.
Why don't they? No, the thing I could see them doing at the Hall of Presidents, though, if they're gonna take it out, they're gonna revamp the Disneyland version, which is just Abraham Lincoln, right? So. What's it called? I forget. It's just Abraham Lincoln, though.
Great Moments with President Lincoln?
Maybe. Something like that.
I don't know.
But
Corey, you know what? As much as we love Disney World.
Yes.
And Disneyland.
Yes.
And the impending Super Mario World. We're here to talk about Destiny. We have a beefy Schwab tonight.
It's a big beefy boy.
It's a big boy. It's a really big boy. We're talking all Crucible tonight.
Mm-hmm. By the way,
which I don't know how I feel about this.
Did you see at the very top of the the page? There's just a big banner that says Stadia players activate cross save before January 18th.
Yeah, you can't say that they're not warning you. And honestly, like, Bungie's got to be thanking God that Google decided to shut down Stadia while Twitter was still active.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh, they got to be like thanking God right now. They're thanking the Traveler as we speak in Seattle. So we knew this was going to be a beefy Schwab a couple days ago when Damage said, I'm trying to keep this to under 6,000 words. And at that point, I think it was safe for all of us to assume, well, it's got to be the Crucible Schwab, because it's literally this week or the week before the season starts. At least here, you've got like Thanksgiving to like stew over some of this, because sure enough, this comes out. And John and I were talking, and I was like, watch. It's going to take like 3 hours for people to freak out. It took under 2 for people to start going, well, I don't know about this. Like,
right.
Oh my God. Like, somebody type skill-based matchmaking into the chat to scare a streamer. Because that seemed to be where the complaints came from. Like, and not even just for like the comp playlist, but like in what's your problem with this? Like, I don't think it should really be in quick play. I think it should be in the more difficult brackets.
Right.
But anyways,
Hey, Josh. Before you continue,
before I continue,
Wario64 has launched his Discord.
yes. Okay. Sorry. This is actually very important to me. Corey and I were talking about this before the show. In what may be one of my final tweets on the platform, I was like, "This is great and all. I love that everyone's sharing their plans, but I will need to know where Wario64 goes."
Yeah.
I will not open the Discord link because I'm scared of closing down my network if I do it. Yeah. So I will be doing that as soon as we're done here. His Black Friday deal alerts are going out, so I got to be a part of that. Oh man, let's get straight to it. Trans Awareness Week. Like they celebrated last year, we've got the fancy emblem in here again. To remind everybody, it is here at the top of the TWAB. There's an embedded image for it. One of my more favorite looking emblems. I like it when Bungie changes up the Bungie crest and the hand with the lightning bolt. I love when they do that for Pride Week, or Pride Month, Trans Week, Black Lives Matter. I really love it when they do this. We community event next month. I'm okay. Not next month. Next week. What am I saying? Next week during Thanksgiving. Oh man. Okay.
You all right, Josh?
So. No, because this is something I think probably should have launched like 2 weeks ago, but what do I know? I don't work at Bungie. Tuesday, the Elixni Quarter community event is beginning. Here's how you can help. All Guardians will be asked to collect treasure in the form of Captain's Coins from around the system to donate toward the Elixni Quarter, helping Spider with improvements and upkeep while Misrax and Ido devote their time to researching the relics of Nezarec. Captain's Coins can be found in destination chests, lost sectors, public events, Season of the Plunder, Catch Crash, and expedition activities, as well as the King's Fall Raid, Dares of Eternity, Strikes, Crucible Gambit. Basically, you can find them everywhere.
This feels like something that should have been going on the whole season.
This does feel like something that should have gone on all season. I also want to note how hilariously sad it is that we are getting this 2 weeks before the end of the season.
Right.
The week after God of War Ragnarok, Warzone 2, and Pokemon are all releasing.
Right.
Who is still playing these activities? Like, let me tell you something. After they fixed the seal today, I am not touching another goddamn Catch Crash or Expedition. I'm not doing another one. They nerfed it. You only have to get 10 ruffian kills instead of 50. You only have to get 14 out of the 21 upgrades for the seasonal progress board. Like in the captain's quarters or whatever it is. And there was something else. Oh, you only have to summon each first mate once. Like, okay, cool. This should have been something that you implemented in week 2, though, and not 2 weeks before the end.
Right.
We were telling y'all this was going to be a problem at the end of week 1, and nobody took it seriously at Bungie.
Right.
So, like, I was killing myself. Zao Ambrosia and I were running things a couple weeks ago. I was trying to do this and Haunted Sectors at the same time, so it was terrible. 2 activities that just made me not want to touch Destiny anymore for the rest of the season. This season will be the season I finish with the absolute lowest amount of levels, and that includes the shortened season that came with Shadowkeep's launch. I finished with 169 levels then. I've never finished below 200 outside of that. And I am on pace to finish with 160. I'm at 150 something right now, and I just know I'm going to go up like 5 levels instantly from playing Iron Banner this week. So, like, yeah, this is cool. Great change, but should have happened a while ago. God, I had the wrong TWAB window open too. Community as a whole will pool their treasure together to help Misrax and Spider improve the Elixni Quarter, receiving global community-earned rewards and special Elixni thank you gifts along the way. Guardians may even find a deep sight weapon or 2 to help with completing their crafting collection. Again, would be really thrilled if I hadn't already earned every single... I literally have every single deep sight weapon for this season because I've had to do so many goddamn expeditions.
Right. I
keep getting them. Like, I finally have gotten them all, even the weapons I don't care about. Community event only lasts for 2 weeks. Tell your friends, assemble a fire team, track down the treasure. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm very curious to see how this progresses and what the community rewards are.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I can't imagine.
I
It
bet
being,
it's
like,
a ghost
anything
and
super
an
impressive.
emblem and a sparrow.
Well, I mean, they've already said that we're getting a personal donations track with an emblem, upgrade materials, and a ghost shell. So I don't know what else you can like give me.
A
Give me some
sparrow and a
bright
ship.
dust. Give me some bright dust, man. Give me like 5,000 bright dust.
You and your bright dust.
That would get me into this. That would get me in this. Give me a special like armor ornament or something.
Yeah.
Just frustrating. Speaking of the title updates are next. We've already talked about that. And you only have to earn 8 of the 9 triumphs to get the seal now as well. Again, these are all changes that should have happened earlier on in the season. I want to say one of the designers is not. It's one of the things I'm going to miss about Twitter is one of the designers for the Rituals team, I think it was talking about this earlier, saying that these are things that they're taking into consideration, and that like they probably should have been checking out earlier on in the season, and like they've got to like take all this into account going forward and whatnot. I'm trying to find the exact tweet because I think Damage retweeted it. Yeah, here we go. We don't take changing seal requirement. It's the assistant game director for the game, Robbie Stevens. We don't take changing seal requirements lightly. We consider player feedback, design intent, and data to make informed decisions. As such, we're evaluating future seasonal seals to ensure they're hitting the right mix of completion, mastery, and gameplay. Moving the goalpost will always be positive for some and negative for others, but if feedback and data are telling us we should make a change, then we will. That said, we don't expect this to be the norm moving forward. I think it's important that they recognize this because John and I talked about this last week. There was a really grindy triumph last season as well, which was do 50 tier 3 nightmare containments, and those take about 10 minutes each. So I want you to think of how many hours you're spending doing that. First off, that's 7.5, 8 hours minimum that you're spending doing those. And like that's not a lot of time in the scheme of things for most of us when we look at our Destiny playtime. But that's a lot to do one activity that is repetitive, that does not change at all except for the final boss.
Right.
And it's exhausting. There's no way to speed it up, and that's, God willing, every one of your runs makes it to tier 3. I mean, there were some that would fizzle out at tier 2. People were having trouble loading into instances because people would load in and immediately leave it if it wasn't already on tier 3. And there's so many things that you have to take into consideration with something like that. And it was like when I saw that you had to do the ruffians, and then I realized like they were on the invisible timer. There's no way to guarantee that they spawn. It was bad. It's just like, oh my God, like this is the worst. I almost didn't go for the seal because of that once I realized how grindy it was. And I'm glad that they made this change, but this is a change that should have been made like 2 months ago.
Right.
We knew by mid-September this was going to be a problem. The season started at the end of August. It started the day of the Lightfall reveal, the day that, my apartment decided to flood. And like I've known since that week that this was going to be a problem. And we've complained about it. And I don't know how you can say that you had to wait for the data. You had the data 8 weeks ago that this was a disaster. People were already talking about sabotaging their own fire teams to get this done. And it's just, that's not fun. Like, you have to hold up everyone. You have to make this take even longer. And there's nothing that's fun about doing that. It's just, I hope when they say they're reevaluating future seals, like, man, hate to break it to you, you're probably going to have to do this again. You say you don't want to, but you're probably going to have to. And this kind of comes back to my philosophy of, I think the seasonal seals should be the easiest ones to earn.
Right.
Your seasonal seals should be, those and the events should be super easy. Everyone should be able to earn it. I do think like maybe for the seasonal ones, throw it in like, hey, you need to go do one run of the master activity or something. When Robbie talks about mastery, I think that shows mastery more than killing 50 fucking ruffians. Right. Do a master catch crash. And I know that's going to be hard for some people because some people don't like the LFG. They like to play solo. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but that would show mastery of an activity. Why have the master version there as an option if you're not going to require it for anything?
Right.
We talked about needing to evolve, the seasonal structure as a whole and like the board that you pick up your stuff on throughout the season. Something else I would say is I think like if these and the events are like if the event seals are your super easy ones, now like anyone can get those. This probably should be another like half a step up. Then I think beyond that you have your ones for rituals. So like Dredgen, Deadeye, the Crucible seal that we're going to talk about later tonight. Iron Banner, I think those should be your next step up. And then up at your top should be or not even the top, like the next step up from that, your seals for the expansions, your gumshoes, and things like that. And at the very top should be your dungeon and raid seals, your Thought Stealers, your Disciple Slayers, Descendants, things like that. Like those should be like your pinnacle seals, or like one that's related to like Trials of Osiris, your flawless seal. Those should be like your pinnacle seals, like the best of the best get those. And I think like if you adapt a philosophy like that going forward, that probably impacts your player base a little bit more positively because everyone kind of knows where they fit then. And let's be honest, like not everyone is trying to slay out for those raid titles. Like those are like when you see someone with that, you're like, oh shit, this person's really good. They evoke what a title is supposed to mean. I see somebody with a seasonal title, I walk around with my Undying title still from that very first season. I don't get that oh shit feeling when I see people like that. I say oh shit when I see them having one of the OG seals like Wayfarer or Chronicler or something like that, or I see them with one of the raid ones because I know how much work went into something like that. So all that being said, I'm happy they're changing the seal. Should not have taken until 2 weeks before the end.
Right.
Any thoughts on that, Corey, before we just zip right along?
No, nothing I haven't already said.
All right, let's do it. Crucible. This is the bulk of the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to read the TLDR because we're breaking down the entire thing here. I'll only go back up to that for clarification if we need it. Player experience goals. So they have 5 different things here. Casual Crucible, which is defined by quick play, rotators, and labs. Find a fair game, make friends, stay as long as you're having fun. Real life comparison, pick up games at the gym. I don't know if any of us go to the gym, though. So, Iron Banner, week-long celebration of PvP and Destiny that draws in everyone. Real life comparison, you're at a block party. Don't know if I'd call it that, but okay. Trials of Osiris, prove your skill and build against worthy rivals. High-stakes pro-am tournaments. Ranked play, fair matches, measure yourself, grow as you see and feel, and stakes are always high. Real life comparison, local recreational leagues, and then, of course, private match, game night with friends. Don't think I need to explain private matches to anybody. So with that being said, here are the updates that we're looking at. Starting in Season 19, the Crucible will have the following options on the Crucible screen. Quick Play 6v6. This is now a playlist that features both Control and Clash. Uses loose skill-based matchmaking. Weekly Rotator 6v6 / free-for-all. Rotates weekly between Momentum Control, Mayhem, Scorched, Rift, and Rumble. Uses purely connection-based matchmaking. So nothing's changing there. Comp and Freelance 3v3. Here we go. This is now a playlist, randomly picking Survival, Rift, and Showdown. That's going to make a lot of people mad.
Yeah.
This is where the crack started to show. Because 3v3 Rift, I personally can dig it. There are a lot of people out there not happy about this one. Uses purely nope, I was about to read the wrong thing. These modes showcase a variety of playstyles designed to show how good you really are. Uses a new skill-based matchmaking setting built using concepts we developed for loose skill-based, but are tightened to match you more closely against opponents of your skill. Crucible Labs. During Season 19, Labs will show 3v3 Rift with asymmetrical maps. Labs has a stacking 25% reputation booster and uses connection-based matchmaking. And, of course, you guys know what private matches are. The Crucible screen will also update for limited-time PvP events. Trials of Osiris. When Trials is active, it will replace Crucible Labs and uses ticket-based matchmaking in the Flawless pool. Iron Banner and Freelance Iron Banner. When Iron Banner is active, it replaces the Quick Play node. So that's kind of funky that quick play is gone now during Iron Banner. Not sure that I like that.
No. Nope. Don't like
But
that.
I guess they're assuming that Iron Banner's only up twice a season, and most players are playing that when it comes in. And there is a graph that they have developed down below that I'll go to. That Iron Banner is when most people engage, the most people all season engage with PvP.
Yeah.
Here is the other thing that made people upset. Iron Banner is going to be moving to loose skill-based matchmaking during Season 19. Now, this is the mode where I think you actually need it. I think skill-based matchmaking in something that has always been intended to be like a pinnacle PvP event needs some form of that. I do not see a problem with this.
I don't either. I like it. I like it.
I like it. I don't mind it. I played plenty of Crucible now over the last couple of weeks, and it's like, didn't really notice a massive change in control. I'll be completely honest with you. Let's talk about player populations. For example, Iron Banner. Average population is high, and playtime per player is high. Control, average population high, playtime per player medium. Trials, it's inverse. Average population medium, playtime is high though. Survival medium, and then it just kind of drops off a cliff after that. All the rotators kind of vary. Mayhem and Momentum have high populations but low playtime. People are clearly going in there to do their 3 matches and be done. Elim, medium to low, and then low. Scorched, Clash, Rumble, and Showdown all either vary or have low on both. And I'll tell you right now, when I see that it's Scorched, I don't go in there. I don't usually go in for Clash either. Now that Clash is going to be part of Quick Play, sure, fine. I would make the argument that Momentum Control should probably be in that playlist as well in Quick Play. I think if you had that, Control, and Clash, you would have kind of like the perfect mixture of all 3. Maybe you could get to a point where Zone Control can be part of it too. And then you can have your rotators. It will allow for more varied stuff in the rotators too. You could bring in things like Eruption and have like wacky modes like that in your rotators. So yeah, that's a lot of what's in the key takeaways. We decided to move some modes around. We've heard from players they generally enjoy Clash and want to see it more often, so we created the Quick Play playlist to feature both Control and Clash. Rumble is moving to the weekly rotators. So, I mean, I'll be ignoring the rotators that week, and I have a feeling most of us will be living in Quick Play. Elim will be unique to Trials of Osiris or private match if players want to practice, and Showdown has been moved to the competitive division to give some variety as players climb new divisions. But let's talk Crucible rewards. Let's talk the big guns. We're busting it out.
Do it.
Say hello to the new Crucible seal, Glorious. I am absolutely going to try and earn this. I love the design of the seal. I love the name. I'm a big fan of this. I will be playing a lot of Crucible when the new season goes live because I really, really, really want this fucking title. Man, this is great.
You're nuts, man.
When starting in Season 19, players will have new triumphs and a new title to chase. When creating this new title, we had many goals centered around players to express their Crucible prowess, slaying enemies, capturing objectives, and climbing through some of the divisions of the new competitive division. So some of these include earn Crucible ranks across all seasons, complete matches of different game types, acquire medals in the Crucible Gold tier category, complete matches in competitive 3v3, complete your placement series matches, successfully complete a promotion series, achieve platinum division in any season, earn points by completing objectives. So when it comes to guilding, we've taken a pass on the requirements for Unbroken to relieve stress. Win streaks and reaching specific glory thresholds over multiple seasons are no longer required.
Yay!
We will be challenging you to win a number of matches during a given season and reach the Adept division for guilding, but all of this can be accomplished within a single season. If you see someone with a Gilded Glorious, you know they are the best of the best. So, that's it. That's it for the seal right now, but we're going to skip ahead in the TWAB just a little bit, because I want to find the ranks. I don't know why this is so far down. Competitive division. While the Glory playlist was home to our core 3v3 skill-based offering for years, it fallen behind in the rewards department since we sunset the pinnacle weapons and their quests in Beyond Light. Additionally, it was built onto a hybrid skill persistence model to enable more players to get to the top ranks than you would normally expect on a bell curve. We knew we had to revisit the reward structure as well as fit the ranking system to more closely reflect players' skill. We also wanted to create something that would be familiar to players of other competitive games in multiple genres while adding our own flair. What is competitive division? In Season 19, we were removing Glory and adding a 3v3 ranked playlist, competitive division, which is a true ladder-based system. There are 7 divisions, each with 3 subdivisions: Copper, Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Adept, and Ascendant. Now, for that initial title, you only have to make it to Platinum. I don't know what you have to do within Platinum, but you only have to make it to Platinum. So you don't have to make it all the way to the top. You don't have to make it to Ascendant or Adept or anything like that. Now, to Guild it, you have to make it to Adept.
Right.
So that is, like, when they say that's going to be a challenge, that's going to be a challenge. Players who surpass Gold and begin to chip away at Platinum, Adept, and Ascendant will represent some of the best Crucible players our community has to offer. Let's talk a bit how you climb the ladder. This is a higher level explanation of how things work. We will be releasing a help article closer to launch to go a bit further in depth. At the start of the season, you will begin a placement series, during which you will not gain any division rating for the first 7 games. After the 7th game, you complete the placement series and are placed into a division based on skill. For the first season, the highest you can be placed is Gold 3. In future seasons, you will be placed closer to your previous competitive division. As you continue to compete in competitive division, your division rating is adjusted based on 4 major factors: match outcome, whether you win or lose; division inflation, deflation, how far or above or below your division is compared to your skill; match performance, how well you performed on a match-to-match basis; player to lobby skill delta, how your skill compares to everyone else in the match. As you earn and lose division rating, if you gain enough rating to move up between subdivisions, i.e. from Gold 2 to Gold 1, you automatically enter the next subdivision. Same goes for moving down subdivisions. If you gain enough rating to move up a division, from Gold 1 to Platinum 3, for example, you enter a promotion series where you must win 2 out of 3 games to be promoted to the next division. Similarly, if you lose enough rating to move down a division from Gold 3 to Silver 1, you enter a relegation series where you must win 2 out of 3 games to remain in your current division. Upon reaching Gold or higher, your division rating is subject to decay on a weekly basis. An example, you will lose division rating if you have not played enough matches recently. Also, we have a small intro quest that will demonstrate the competitive division system and unlock a reward listed later in this SWAB. This quest must be completed once for each account and will be available from Shaxx once you unlock Crucible as a new light, or immediately for veteran players. Let's stop here because that's a lot to take in. This does work very similar to other competitive games at a first glance with a ladder system. I like that they have the promotion and relegation matches. I think that's an interesting flair to all of this. It is worth noting that on the triumphs we were talking about, the promotion series is one of those that you have to do. So you would need to win a promotion series, for example, from Gold 3 to Platinum, or from Gold 1 to Platinum 3, in order to get that climbing the ladder achievement also. So worth noting, I don't think it's like too big-brained to be able to do that. But if you don't play comp regularly, you will lose your standing, and I think that's completely fair. That should be expected by now.
Yep.
Big fan of that. Big fan. Competitive division rewards. Since competitive division is aimed at drawing a close link between skill and division, we don't see division as something to really grind for rewards. We don't want someone to feel pressure to play tons of games looking for a drop, all while your division rating drops and you ruin your division standing. Instead, we want the primary motivator to be your actual division. We aren't going to be adding any unique grindable rewards outside of those you can get anywhere in the Crucible, and really focus our rewards on weekly participation and achieving higher divisions. We are going to be very careful about giving up high performance rewards for achieving higher divisions. Since these divisions are tied tightly to skill, some divisions will be completely unattainable to some players no matter how much they try or play. Having some of the old pinnacle rewards tied to higher glory had unfortunate effects on players and led us to eventually add numerous persistence features into the ranking system. To avoid that, we're going to initially keep rewards for achieving a higher division limited to efficiency rewards. So let's stop there for a second, really quickly, before we get into the multipliers and stuff. They've already addressed, Bungie already kind of came out and addressed it this afternoon and said that they are listening to the feedback. They understand that, because a lot of competitive or a lot of PvP mains and content creators are like, "Oh, this is unbelievable! I can't believe you're going to launch this without any sort of like cosmetics or anything like that." And I'm inclined to agree. I do think there should at least be like a special armor set that maybe you get it when you hit platinum and then it upgrades based on how high you're able to get your ranking in a specific season.
Yeah, it kind of like, I don't know. I always
I
feel
would like an evolving set. Like maybe it gets like more majestic the higher you get up in rank.
yeah, or like different glows or an ornament or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think all of that. I think all those are good things. Maybe some special weapon ornaments or something. But I do think that like tying things like the Meta multi-tool catalyst to reaching legend was insane. Tying Not Forgotten to that was insane. I
Yeah.
see people saying all the time, like, well, I really wish we had things like Mountaintop and like Recluse and Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten to chase. And I got to disagree because all it did was make a lot of us, not just make us feel left out. It genuinely was one of those things like you can't just tell people, well, get good, or you can't have the best weapons in the game.
Right.
That's not how a loot-based game should work.
No.
And that's why I'm kind of happy that the adept weapons don't like significantly matter.
Right.
You can still get a very good roll of a very good gun, maybe like 5% worse than what the adept version is.
Right.
But things like Mountaintop and Recluse genuinely were breaking the game. And I don't want to see another situation like that, and Bungie clearly doesn't either. So I think this is a step in the right direction for the community. Let's talk about some of these rewards, though, because there's not a lot of them. Your current division will give you a multiplier on all Crucible ranks earned in Destiny, regardless if you're earning them in comp or in quick play, or Iron Banner or Trials or whatever. Copper and Bronze, 1.0. Silver, 1.1. Gold, 1.2. 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. So even if you aren't great at PvP, jumping into comp and earning and keeping your rank up will help you earn Crucible rewards 10 to 20% faster now. These bonuses stack with both the scheduled bonus ranks weeks and the hidden bonus in Crucible Labs. As a note, we are reducing bonus week Crucible rank multipliers from 2.0 to 1.5 in Season 19. It's to reduce the weight to need for bonus ranks week to get the most out of your Crucible playtime. With the added bonuses provided by divisions, 95% of players are more reputation over the course of the season than what's currently available. I'm okay with this. Totally cool with it. Meta Multi-Tool Catalyst is now a rare drop on any win in the Crucible. Finally.
Right.
After 5 years, finally.
Right. Guess I'll bust that bad boy back out.
One of the best rewards you can get from comp is right there in the name. Your competitive division, which you have earned throughout the season, lets you know where you actually sit in the hierarchy of players better than KDA, win percentage, or a third-party ELO ranking ever could. But that's not all. For our weekly participation rewards mentioned above, we're bringing an old fan favorite back. That's right, Rose is back for competitive division. Rose was originally a legendary hand cannon earned during the Lumina Exotic Quest. Has a long history in Destiny, in which it was corrupted then redeemed. It now returns with random rolls and an updated perk pool. Hybrid fires like a 140 hand cannon, but allows you to move like a 150 and has stats that blend the two. Its perk list is built from popular consistency perks designed to highlight 3v3 play. Random rolled grips instead of an origin trait. But how do you earn it? When you complete your competitive division intro quest once per character, you will get a drop with the perk selection Rose originally had. After the intro quest, you'll have a character-based weekly competitive division challenge to earn another roll, and that's it. Competitive division, earn 1 roll a week per character. If you change this every season, that will be huge for keeping the player base up, at least in the early weeks, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Say you could win them there, and then you would be able to focus this at Shaxx the next season or something. Would be massive.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about Shaxx focusing. We're going to go back in the Chwab in a little bit.
Yeah.
But that would be massive.
Huge.
Massive.
Huge.
I'm not huge on Rose. I'm not huge on hand cannons, but I know a lot of people have been asking for this.
Yeah, but you could do this.
3 people message me today alone about this gun coming back.
Yeah, I mean, you could switch the weapon every season. You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be a hand cannon every season, right? Or this weapon, right? I mean,
no, but I understand that they would want it something that would be highlighted in a 3v3 play style for that kind of weapon. So maybe one season it's a hand cannon. Maybe one season it's an SMG. Maybe it's a sniper. There there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff you could do here. And I mean, hey, maybe that sustains you for like a year or so while you try to figure out, like other rewards to do.
Yeah.
Heck, if you're going to keep Rose in, I would love if you added a special ornament for it next season or something.
Right.
Maybe like there's a special ornament for when you get to those Adept or Ascendant tiers. I think that would be cool. I'd rather see that put into the game than another fucking emblem.
Right.
Future rewards update. In seasons post Lightfall, we are expecting to get further cosmetic rewards for competitive divisions, so there we go. We are still working out the details of what you can earn, when you can start earning them, and how you earn them. Expect more discussion after Lightfall launches. I'm not inspired by that. I don't think that we should be waiting until Lightfall to discuss this, but I get that they want to have a season of data under their belt. I think it sounds worse than it actually is, because in my mind, I'm like, Lightfall is next year. Lightfall is 3 months away. We're 3 months and like a change away from it.
Right.
So, like, by the time we do our next show, the next show that we do, we will be exactly 3 months out. So I don't know. I want to see how the rewards shake out, but let's keep talking about rewards, because we have a lot more to talk about. Oh boy, I did not bring a drink in with me.
Oh no! Do you need to go?
I do not have a drink on my desk.
Do you need to go get a drink? Do I need to entertain people for 30 seconds?
I'm going to power through. I'm going to power through.
Attaboy.
Ingram focusing at Lord Shaxx, which we've been asking for. Crucible Ingrams. Of course, we already know how the Gambit Ingrams work, so I don't need to sit here and explain it to you. Crucible gear focusing. It'll be 1 Crucible Ingram, 10,000 Glimmer, 50 Legendary Shards. I do believe that this is being changed going forward, however. For both this and Gambit, they are reducing the cost to focus Ingrams at vendors, because they realize, like we've all been saying, it's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Crucible Ingrams do not need to be claimed in order to be spent on focusing. Individual pieces of gear must have been acquired at least once prior to being available for focusing. Crucible Armor, available for focusing in Season 19, is the Clutch Extol set, which is the set that's currently available in-game.
Right.
Weapons available for focusing include Stars in Shadow, the Keening, Frozen Orbit, Survivor's Epitaph, Sorrow's Verse, Crisis Inverted, Riptide, and Out of Bounds. Of course, just like Gambit, brand new Crucible weapons are only available as drops during their introductory season, and then are available for focusing the following season. So there's a nice screenshot here showing us what Shaxx's inventory will now look like on the decoding page, just like Saint 14.
Yep.
Here we go. Shaxx is using a new Ingram system that lets us use the Ingram stored directly on the vendor for focusing, rather than needing to pull it into your Ingram inventory. This change is more convenient for you and lets us more easily shift the main cost burden from lots of legendary shards and glimmer to multiple Ingrams. So that's a little interesting. While the current costs are similar to Gambit's, expect a larger focusing rebalancing pass, read lower glimmer and legendary shard cost with Lightfall, as well as all the ritual vendors converted over into this new system. A wallet item showing you all the various Ingram counts will be available in Season 20. So you have to redeem various Ingrams. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense for legacy focusing that we're talking about now.
Yay!
We're looking at ways for players to earn older Crucible armor sets through focusing in Season 20 when Lightfall launches. We've previously announced legacy focusing for Trials, Nightfall, and Iron Banner, and this applies to armor sets as well. If you've been asking for the return of the Exile armor set, we're eyeballing older Iron Banner. We're looking forward to having those available. Finally!
I know.
Nobody has to listen to me complain about not having that one Trials chest piece anymore.
I know, I'm so excited.
Finally!
I'm really excited for something we're going to talk about later about Iron Banner, though.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
I know.
This was the biggest piece of news for me. I can finally get that goddamn chest piece. After years of knowing I missed out on my one opportunity to get it. And I will be able to get it. I am ecstatic for this.
Oh, I'm so happy. Older gear, just to even like...
Especially with Transmog,
yeah.
Like, it's insane that it took us this long to get here.
I know. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Very happy. Very happy, everybody. I might actually play some Iron Banner and Trials now more than just like a week and a half to realize that I suck at it.
Oh.
Josh is very
Jacked.
happy. If you're not watching the
Jacked.
video version, I encourage you to watch the video version and see Josh's smile. It's so big.
It is big. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But let's talk Iron Banner, Corey.
Let's
The
do
last
it.
big thing we have to get to
Yep.
this Schwab is Iron Banner.
Mm-hmm.
Introducing Iron Banner Fortress. Back in Season of the Haunted, Saladin reestablished the Iron Banner as a twice-a-season PvP celebration for everyone. Can we please get this up to 3 weeks again? This is, like, unacceptable.
I know.
Oh, actually, this is not the last thing. I have something even more egregious that we have to talk about after this.
Oh, no.
Eruption has been a lot of fun this season. I am really bummed it was only here twice, and then it's seemingly not even showing up next season at all. It needs to be in the rotators, like, today. Take Team Scorched out and put Eruption in. In Iron Banner Fortress, the core gameplay is capturing and holding zones. If that sounds like zone control, you'd be right. The real fun begins when Keitel gets involved. But we'll leave some of this for you to experience firsthand when Iron Banner Fortress launches January 3rd, 2023. Some of you may be dying to cap a hill. There are, in this image, Cabal turrets on the zone.
Neat.
This looks bonkers and bananas. I'm very excited for it. We all wondered how long it was going to take Keitel to get involved. Alas, though, we are not getting Cabal-themed armor this year. Instead, some of the things that we can expect to get in Season 19. Few returning Iron Banner weapons not seen since the early days of Destiny 2. If auto rifles or slug shotguns are your thing, Saladin is something special for you. Updated with random rolls, fresh perks from the last few seasons, and the Iron Banner trait. We're looking forward to seeing what rolls you chase, but that's not all. It's been about a year since our last armor refresh. Thank you. We know it's been awful. We've seen some wonderful themes throughout the years, inspirations drawn from ages past, focusing on the looks of a true warrior. But this year we'll be returning to some fan favorite sets coming from the era of a Taken King. All I have to say about this set. Now I can finally stop seeing you motherfuckers ask for this on every single tweet from the Bungie accounts.
I'm just saying I'm very excited for this.
I could not give less of a shit about this set. I am thrilled for every one of you who wants this set so badly.
It's the only Titan set that looks cool.
I'm very happy for everybody who is happy about this. I personally do not like this set. I personally do not care. That's also because I had to look at it for like 3 or 4 years in Destiny 1. It is probably the best Hunter Cloak in the game. I will concede to that. Wearing the wolf pelt is pretty great.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Cool. I'm very happy for all of you who have seen this. Oh man. Okay. You guys can come read about fire team based matchmaking. I think you understand what that means. Proving connections at the high end, quitter suspensions. Y'all can read all that. Trials of Osiris. Oh my god. We're almost done. We've got 2 sections left. Trials of Osiris. While Season 19 has much of its focus on general Crucible playlist matchmaking and the introduction of the competitive division, we do have upkeep planned for Trials. For starters, we're following tradition with 2 new weapon rewards for players to hunt. Whether you're hungry for a base model or the Fabled Adept variant, we have a new machine gun and a new 140 hand cannon. Perhaps what is with the fucking LMGs?
Yeah, I don't know.
God. This is where I'd show you an example image of the Saint 14 vendor screen, but we don't want to spoil any gear icon watermarks for the new season just yet. Well, that's a little spicy. Additionally, we're looking to add fire team based matchmaking into Trials in the future. By introducing these matchmaking changes into the playlist, we're looking to provide a larger sense of fairness for smaller fire teams and eliminate the need for the freelance node. Solos can match solos or fill-ins for teams of duos. Fire teams of 3 will match fire teams of 3. While we will not have changes to the Flawless Pool for Season 19, we are working on a new paradigm that removes the Flawless Pool but still provides protection for players working to earn Trials rep rewards. Expect more information later in Season 19. Our goal is to have a Trials lab during Season 20. Let's stop here so let's pause for a second.
Pause.
This highlights why we need a, I don't know, passage of perseverance or something in this game. Um, if you're going to do things like this, I don't think that you should be punished because you can't make it to the lighthouse. I think the lighthouse is just such an inherently useless thing most of the time now that I don't think there's any harm in, hey, you win 12 matches across your whole weekend and we'll give you an adept weapon for free. But you can only earn one per week and you can't go buy another one from the vendor. I think that would be fair. Or at least guarantee you the weapon if you can win 7 games or 7 matches of any kind during trials. If you did those two things and took out the flawless pool, I would not complain about it. I'll be honest. Keep the cosmetic rewards and stuff for making it to the lighthouse. The special emblems, and maybe start like we were saying about comp. Hey, maybe introduce a few weapon ornaments or something. Specifically for trials weapons. I don't know, or a couple trials skins, kind of like how we had for Outbreak and the Colony when trials first came back. Why not give us a couple for some of these exotics that get used all the time in comp? Could you imagine the salt if there was a trials ornament for Arbalest?
Oh, God.
Or for Lawrence Driver? Like, I think you could genuinely do some fun things with this. And, well, okay, maybe not fun, maybe triggering, but there are some interesting things you could do here, and I think that those rewards being tied to the flawless pool would be fine. I think that would be acceptable. The trials guns already glow if you have the glow going on from trials for the week, just like the emblems provide. So why not tie that to some gun skins? Maybe introduce a special shader or two. I don't know. Keep things exclusive to the flawless pool for year and a half, and then let us peons earn them after that.
Right.
There's got to be something though, because there's got to be some sort of healthy chase for the players who want to grind comp and trials versus the players who we go play trials because there's gear that we have to have in there. I mean, you look at some of the best weapons over the last couple of years. You look at you could Shayura's Wrath. I don't think Eye of Soul was ever up there, but oh god, it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember it now. Messenger, Shayura's. I'm totally blanking out. There was Summoner had its time in the sun. Yeah, it was pretty dominant when Trials first came back. There was another one, and I feel like it's from the last year, and I can't remember it. I'll eventually think of it. Igneous Hammer was pretty good there for quite a while, but I don't know that any Trials opens ever felt 100% essential. They were very, very good though. We somehow made them feel really, really good and feel like you wanted to get them without making them feel like they were outright essential like Mountaintop or Recluse were. So I think as long as we're not locking guns behind flawless passages and stuff, then we're kind of fine. But I think there should be a way to earn those adept weapons. Yeah, you didn't go flawless, but you still put in some pretty big work, and you can only get one roll, so you really got to make it count. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing something like that down the line. But I would argue that needs to be in place fairly soon, because we've been asking for it for a while. There are bigger challenges, I think, when it comes to PvP, but that would solve one of the bigger ones, I think, at least with trials. I think if you did that and you got rid of the flawless pool, you would solve two of the biggest complaints that I see from trials fans. But let's talk about the thing that I saved this kind of for last because I've harped on it before, but we have to talk about this again because they're bringing it up themselves. Remember, way, way back, we hadn't even hit episode 50 yet when we talked about this last.
Oh, boy.
Or for the first time, I guess. It was a very long time ago. It was back the last state of the game that we got, as a matter of fact. February or March of 2021, I want to say. When we got the outline of what they were going to do for the next few Crucible seasons. Or for the Crucible seasons for the Witch Queen, that is.
Yes, the next few seasons, they said.
Where they told us that we were going to get a couple maps back. We were going to get a new map. And they hoped to alternate. This past year, we saw the return of two Destiny 2 maps, Eternity and Vostok, one map from Destiny 1, Cathedral Dusk, and a brand new map set on Savathû Stoneworld, Disjunction. Much of our focus for this year of map content was to give players some larger spaces, lanes for sniping, a bit of range for pulse rifle scouts, and other ranged options. For the coming year, we're going to be bringing back 2 more maps from earlier in Destiny 2, and we've just started production on a brand new map, which we expect to be released in the Year of Lightfall. This is fucking absurd. This is absurd. By the time the final shape rolls around, we will have gotten 2 new maps in 4.5 years. And that is not an exaggeration. Since Shadowkeep, 2 new maps. That is 100% wholly unacceptable. That is absolutely unacceptable. I understand that we've gotten several Destiny 1 maps back during that time frame. I understand that we've brought back a few Destiny 2 maps. And I understand the argument that Bungie has made in the past. I don't know if this pertains to maps or not, but they have said it in regards to weapons, and I think in regards to like raids and stuff. So I would assume it's the same here. That creating something brand new costs essentially the same in terms of porting over older content or updating older content. If that is the case, why are we not exclusively making new multiplayer maps?
Right. Like I don't understand. Like I don't
want to backseat game dev, but
I don't understand. You know, I mean, are multiplayer maps just like really hard to design? Because like, I mean, Halo's having this problem, right? Like, I mean, like,
yeah, Halo struggle bus this year, and I mean, God, like I see Halo players complain, and it's like, man, y'all got like 4 or 5 new maps this year. Try being a Destiny fan. Holy shit!
Right.
Halo's support in terms of PvP looks just fucking incredible compared to this.
Right.
I don't think that the answer is to like introduce a Forge-based mode, but you almost have to wonder at a certain point if a Forge tool would be better. Honestly, like when it was just Bungie by themselves, I was able to defend it slightly and be like, well, it's just them now. They don't have multiple studios like they did during Destiny 1 and during the first couple of years of Destiny 2. I can understand that. And then you can use the excuse of a pandemic. But there are so many studios out there that just make multiplayer maps. Certain Affinity has made multiplayer maps for Gears and Halo for like 15 years now.
And Doom.
Going all the way back to the Halo 2 multiplayer map pack.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
like you can't actually make the argument that you can't find somebody to do this. And this is where I'm going to sound like I'm one of the angry people on Twitter for a second.
Are you not one of those people?
Sony and Bungie entered into their agreement at the end of January of this year. It was finalized in July, I want to say. July? Yeah, early to mid-July, I think, is when it was finalized.
Yeah.
Bungie has been a part of this ecosystem now enough that they should have been able to express things like this to Sony and be like, hey, we need another support team. Like, we need a support team. We need you guys to pay up for a team to help us make multiplayer maps, because and this is the first time that I think I've ever doubted Bungie's approach to multiple games. We know so many of the PvP team were peeled off to work on whatever the competitive game they're making, which we're assuming is still codenamed Matter. We know that they're working on the Marathon reboot now. I'm trying to say this in a way that is both respectful of the studio and the creatives involved without sounding like I'm entitled and like I would end up on a block list. I think you should have made the health of your bread and butter, the only game that your studio has made in the last decade. You should have ensured that it was in the healthiest place to continue without stripping it of all of its resources. Because you've left the game in a much worse state than it would have been in. I mean, you look at some of the people that they peeled off. The PvP leads were peeled off to go over there. And I understand, like, the whole promotion of, oh, next person up. Why not, instead of promoting those people into positions at Destiny, why didn't you let them go work on the new project? I understand, like, people want to change projects and stuff like that. That's fine. Like, that's part of what helps the studio avoid burnout. But if you saw this coming, which you should have, I think that's where your priority should have been in terms of hiring, not building up multimedia teams and stuff like that. I think you need to take care of the core game before you start worrying about shit outside the game, personally. Y'all wanted to open up a publishing office in the Netherlands, which I assume is still happening. Why didn't we use resources to hire more people to work on PvP? This is really frustrating to see, and I think part of the challenge is they use their own in-house engine. They don't use Unreal or Unity or anything like that. They're still using a modified version of the Halo Reach engine,
which is fascinating and ridiculous at the same
which
time.
is unbelievable. The way that they treat multiplayer maps makes me like, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. It really screams to me of, we don't want to keep dumping all these resources into Destiny 2's PvP because we plan to move to another Destiny game soon. Like the rest of these systems we can carry over, we would rather just build new maps and a new engine at this point. That's like my best case scenario right now, is that that's what's happening, but that still would be like 2-3 years away. This is inexcusable.
Yeah.
More than anything else, I mean, PvP has dealt with a lot of neglect over the years. We've complained at length about how there's no comp option, and it really just ruins the experience for the rest of us in regular modes. Iron Banner struggled for quite a while there. Trials has been well documented. They had to pull Trials out of the game, for God's sake. And they had to completely revamp Trials. And they've kind of addressed that, saying that, like, well, if we didn't have to fix Trials, if we had basically launched Trials correctly the first time, we could have dumped all these resources in sooner. That still doesn't help with building maps. I understand that you have teams that have to do this for PvE, and that's fine. Like, the PvE team has been built up. You have the Dungeons and Raids teams built up. You've got to start doing this, and I don't even want to touch Gambit with a 10-foot pole. Gambit hasn't gotten a new map since Forsaken. Gambit Prime was the last time we got new maps, and that was... No, not even Gambit Prime. We got one in Season of Opulence. Season of Opulence was summer 2019.
Yep.
Was the last time we got a new Gambit map. They've removed Gambit maps since then, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
They took 2 of them out,
mm-hmm.
which is insane in a mode that only had like 5 maps.
So crazy.
I don't know what needs to happen, and I'm trying really hard not to sound like a backseat game dev, because I don't know how difficult it is to make a multiplayer map. But you're right. You're absolutely correct when you say that this is not just a Destiny problem. This is something that's plagued Halo, and I mean, Halo has Forge at least, though.
Yeah.
They have Forge now.
But
they have Forge now, and that's going to help.
Even something like Gears of War, right? Like Gears 5, like they had new maps at launch, but like a lot of their operations were reused maps from the original trilogy, right? I mean, yeah. I don't.
So I know in the instance of Gears 5, Certain Affinity was not making maps for them, as far as I know.
No, they weren't.
So So that's part of your problem, right? You lose some of your main support. And then with 343, some of the studios that were supposed to help them make maps were overseas, and they were much more negatively impacted by COVID than us. And then you take into account that several of them are Eastern European studios, and there's now a war, in Ukraine and in Russia and whatnot. That's impacted a lot of those operations. I think my core problem when it comes to Destiny is, you've known this was going to be an issue since you left Activision, and I understand when you're by yourself, you probably can't afford to outsource. But why not make a team dedicated to making you some Crucible arenas? Like,
I mean, they employ so many people. How like
you went and made this grandiose promise, and I think you had to say you're going to get a dungeon or a raid every single season. I think a lot of us would have been fine with sitting out a season on a dungeon if it meant that you could put all those people on helping design, at least doing the art for Crucible arenas, and then getting people to program them. I don't know what has to go into this. I don't know how big your team needs to be, but maybe you need to put the competitive game you're making on hold for a little while and, come fix this one. Maybe Marathon needs to be put on hold and come fix this one. Like, I don't want to hear about a Bungie competitive game if you can't get maps made for the one you're currently expecting people to play.
Right.
As your only game. I don't understand for the life of me how that can't happen. We finally got the story team where it needs to be. We finally got PvE mostly where it needs to be. We got to take a pass on seasons now. We're going to take another pass on seasons before we have gotten more maps, before we fixed Gambit. We're finally fixing Crucible, it seems. At least like the bones will be there for a rework. This will probably be a full like light year project, but this very much feels like, hey, we're building the foundation of what's going to be the next numerical entry. I would not be shocked if it came out in a couple of years that, yeah, we know we said no Destiny 3. We like secretly we're working on it, though. And the PvP team has been making Crucible for Destiny 3 for like 3 years.
I mean,
that would not shock me in the least if we get to summer 2024 and that's what comes out.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if in the next year we don't have a Jason Schreier piece talking about a Destiny 3.
Yeah, I kind of think that's... I kind of think after the final shape, that's kind of what's gonna happen, right? I mean,
yeah. My tune hasn't changed in 18 months. My tune is more than that. God, we're coming up on 2 years. My tune has not changed. This is wholly and completely unacceptable to only have 2 brand new maps.
No, it is.
To be telling us a year before it will likely be a full year before we get this map. By the way.
Yeah. Why do you think? I mean, I guess they probably are. It's just like it's different because it's an ongoing game. But like I don't see as much hate for Destiny PvP as Halo, but I think there's just so much other stuff to do in Destiny that people maybe just aren't as vocal about it, or maybe I'm just not.
I think it's because in Destiny, like I think you nailed it. Like it's an ongoing game, and like we have other things to complain about and to do. Like there's raids, there's dungeons, there's the seasonal activities, there's the great story. With Halo, it's you beat the campaign, now you play multiplayer, and I think they're kind of grappling with the fact that Halo's never really had this bad a support before when it comes to maps for DLCs. You look at Halo 2. Halo 2 got the multiplayer map pack not even a year in. 9 brand new maps. And that was unheard of at that time for a console game, right? Halo 3 got maps periodically there for, like 2 years, I think. I actually don't think the map support is that bad compared to the history of the game. I think it's bad because in today's day and age, you look at how many maps Call of Duty gets in a year. And I think you have to also remember the resources that Activision has devoted to Call of Duty. It's the world's most popular brand. Like, it sold over $1 billion worth of copies in 24 hours. That's the biggest launch of any game ever, not called Grand Theft Auto 5.
Right.
So, like, most of the studios that used to help make maps for Destiny now exclusively make them for Call of Duty. I've actually seen people suggest that, maybe Bungie should have just stayed with Activision because at least then we would have gotten new multiplayer maps. Like, literally saw somebody say, I know the conditions were bad there for workers and for the company, but we would at least have PvP taken care of. And that is just such a horribly bad take that I can't actually believe that somebody put their name to that on Twitter, regardless of how fast the site's declining.
Right.
To actually say that out loud is just a fucking wild take. And yet at the same time, you're kind of sitting here going, well, maybe, but Activision was ready to shut down Destiny.
Right.
Let's not forget, they thought Forsaken was a failure. And that's why Bungie got out of the deal.
Right.
So I don't think it's fair to say, it would have been better with Activision. No, the game wouldn't exist anymore. We'd be done. That'd be it. Bungie would probably be making a Call of Duty game by now.
It's probably right.
That's not even an exaggeration. They would probably be doing some sort of Call of Duty spinoff, or zombies or something like that.
Yeah.
At least one of their teams would be. I don't know how you fix this. They have to see how livid people are, because aside from the skill-based matchmaking stuff, this is the thing I saw the most complaints on today. And I completely understand why people are upset about this. Yes, skill-based matchmaking being a part of comp is not great, but I think we should be far more upset about, we're not getting more maps than this. They're basically telling us expect 3 maps next year, and 2 of them are maps you've already played in Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And I would like some clarification from Bungie about, when you guys said that it takes that much effort to bring stuff over, did that just apply to weapons, or does that apply to we've gotten the implication that it applies to raids and strikes and stuff as well? Is it safe to assume that means it for maps too? If so, I don't ever want to see anything from Destiny 1 ever again. I'd rather get brand new shit all the time. All the time. Maybe you can have like a team of like 15 people working on this stuff in the back end to bring it back in periodically, but I'd rather have brand new shit.
Yeah.
Brand new stuff. I don't want any more. After Wrath of the Machine, I don't want anything else from Destiny 1.
Nope.
I'm done. I'd rather have brand new raids. I'd rather have brand new raids, dungeons, maps. I want you guys to remember that Gambit exists.
Yeah.
I want you to improve seasons. Like, there's so much stuff I'd rather have than, oh, here's a map you played 3 years ago. You bitched about it constantly then. You get to do it again now.
Plus, with everything they're saying about, like, bringing old stuff over to Destiny 2, it takes just the same amount of time, if not more time,
right,
to bring it over. So, like, why not focus your energy on new stuff? You know?
And that's what I'm getting at. Like, I would rather you just focus on new stuff. Like, it's either you're lying to us or that's actually the case. And in both scenarios, I'd rather have brand new stuff.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say anymore. It's just insanely frustrating.
Yeah. It's nuts. It's crazy.
It's unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
But you know what's not unacceptable, Corey?
What? Tell me,
questions.
Josh. Questions.
We have listener questions tonight. We have listener questions. We only have a couple, so we're going to get to them pretty quickly. Our first one comes from Ronnie. Hi, Ronnie. If you got to lay out a season story arc, what would be the story you would tell over a season, even if it was just to tie up loose ends and didn't go further beyond that season? From what we know now, not what could come in the future.
Oh, boy.
I mean, I think the most obvious would be to give Rasputin his body.
Yeah.
I would want to see some sort of resolution to that arc, because that's been dangled in front of us since Arrivals.
Yeah.
And they still haven't circled back to it somehow.
Yeah.
It's been 2.5 years. It's time to come back to this thread, guys.
Yeah. You think they're going to address that soon?
I think you have to.
Yeah. I mean, like within the next like season or 2 or 3, right? Like, I mean,
it has to be taken. It's funny like, we say it has to be done before the final shape. Like, I don't know when you do it. Do you really like hold this until?
I feel like this should be
Wrath comes out.
I feel like this would be almost like a perfect season for next season, almost, because we haven't had a Vex season yet. This expansion.
I mean, it wouldn't be Rasputin wouldn't be a Vex season though.
No, but
if anything, I would. So my pitch for a Rasputin season,
but if
when I was working with Anna and Elsie, obviously, and I think it would have to involve the Deepstone Crypt.
Yeah, but aren't the exo bodies kind of somewhat based off of Vex tech? Did I read that wrong?
They are, but I mean, Rasputin himself has never been involved with the Vex or anything. So
yeah, but I mean, if you're going into the Deepstone Crypt too, like there's Vex in the Deepstone.
You're gonna have to. I would think that. Yeah, maybe it's Vex themed. I see a lot of people saying like it would have to be Siva themed, and that really doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
No,
I think we need to. The Siva dream needs to die.
Yeah. If they were gonna do Siva, they would have done it like a year ago.
I would hope so. There is always the chance it could come out with Wrath of the Machine, but I genuinely hope not. I think a Rasputin season is the season I would pick, though. It would have been Mithrax. If you had asked this question a season ago, it would have been let me wrap up some stuff with Mithrax.
Yeah.
I think the other storyline I would like to see is Mithrax becoming the actual Kell of Kells finally, and that one I feel pretty certain that we're going to see both that and the Rasputin thing play out in the next year.
Yeah.
It's just a question of do they do them actually in seasons or are they part of the expansion story? Keitel was part of the expansion story this time around, so
yeah, I don't know if that would be part of a.
I could see Rasputin being a part of Lightfall. I could see Neomuna technology giving him the body that he needs.
Yeah,
tech that's beyond anything that we have. I could see it happening.
Yeah,
we know that Anna is basically like inceptioning with his Ingram right now.
Right.
So can't wait to see how that backfires on us.
That sounds not great.
Can't wait to see how they tie Crow into this.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. That's my answer though. Those are my answers. Give me some resolution with Mithrax becoming the Kel or Rasputin.
Yeah.
I think those are like the only two like loose ends I really feel like we have to get to like before the final shape.
Yeah.
We have to establish those.
I agree. I want to see those play out, but I think not that this has any impact on like the overarching story right now, but like I would like to see some sort of like Elsie time travel season where maybe you go back to.
I would put a pin in that idea.
Yeah.
Because I do think I think they've been very coy about what we're going to see in Lightfall.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be some stuff that really, because I mean, look at Witch Queen. Like so much of what we knew about the Witch Queen played out in the first like mission or two. We didn't know about Finch, for example.
Right.
We didn't know about Rolk.
Yeah.
Like there's so much you can do, and I'm not buying into any sort of leaks or anything that have come out. Of course, we're not going to discuss those here on the show. I think time travel, if they were going to do it, that would need to be an actual expansion thing because that would be important to the narrative.
Yeah.
I would really love for them to tie it back to that Destiny 1 moment on the moon where Elsie's talking into the headset to somebody.
Yeah.
I would really love for that to be revealed to be like us and Osiris or something.
That's gotta be like that would be like a final shape moment almost, I feel like.
Yeah. I'd be okay with that. I'd be totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Our next question is from Zhao. Zhao asks, with the TWAB discussing the community events to spruce up the Elixni Quarter, what do you think we're going to be adding? A smoothie bar, disco ball?
A hot
strip
tub.
Club, man. Strip club.
Mm.
They're adding an Elixni Gentleman's Club.
Talk about an exotic weapon, am I right? Ah.
Ha!
Ah.
It's called the Big Chungus.
Oh, God.
No, but really, I don't know what we're
Shaxx's
doing, but anything's got to be better than looking like you live in, war-torn Iraq.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, they're living in a boss arena, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it looks bad. It looks terrible. It's worse than like a third world country out there, and they're being treated like they're third world citizens too, which is some bullshit. I really hope that the nicest thing, though, in this new Elixni Quarter is not Spider's Bar. That's like the one thing that looks nice. I genuinely hope that, like, I don't know, Insurrection Prime is just like floating around as a giant servitor there.
Oh, God.
He already lived in the Helm for a year with us.
Yeah. Maybe there'll be like a Jabba the Hutt kind of like sand skiff floating around with people serving drinks.
Fucking Spider. Spider talks very much how like I would imagine Jabba the Hutt does if he could speak English. Guardian.
Yeah.
Nice of you to visit me and Mithrax.
Yeah.
Pizza the Hutt.
Spaceballs, man. Classic.
Spaceballs fucking great. Ronnie piggybacks on this question, though, and asks, does it even matter what we're building up? Will it play a role in the next season? I will almost guarantee you it does not matter what we are building. Yeah. In fact, I will guarantee you it does not matter what we're building. Personal guarantee. Yeah. It does not fucking matter.
Nope. It might lead to some sort of event.
It might be like
to
some
get off
sort
the
of like
planet
little ha-ha moment or something. Like,
I bet
maybe we're in the Elixni Quarter.
Honestly, I wonder if we're going to use some of their their splicer tech or whatever, right? Like to make some sort of technology to escape the planet when the Witness inevitably comes and destroys the tower and the planet.
Yeah, I unfortunately how I see this happening is like this is going to be like they're going to use some sort of stupid rationale like they did for the Imperium Foundation, Eprian Foundation or whatever it was during Dawn, and that's what restarted Trials. This is going to rebuild Comp.
Oh no, no.
Oh man, that would just be like the perfect troll though. Oh my god, and then Twitter doesn't exist, so we don't have to listen to people complain about it anymore. We can all just agree to avoid Reddit. I'm just saying, I think it would be funny.
Man, so I reloaded Twitter earlier, like in the show, and it said it wouldn't reload, and then I reloaded it, and it's still there.
It's still there.
It's still here. Still here, Josh. Twitter's still here.
Twitter is in fact still here. The
Google,
people are bracing for the end.
Google Plus is trending.
Oh God, we are not that desperate for social media that we're going to Google Plus. Let me assure everybody of that right now. I forgot to pull up a lore corner and get one ready for us.
All right,
I'm doing it very quickly.
that's fine. We're just talking about how Twitter is okay. So Twitter hashtag Twitter
demise.
down. Google Plus, goodbye Twitter. Since Twitter, MySpace, rip Twitter.
Yeah, what's Tom up to these days?
Yeah, Tom, we need a savior.
I need a hero.
I'm on Mastodon, by the way, and if anybody wants to not,
I refuse to sign up for Mastodon. I will not do it.
I had to do it for work, so because
God,
we're gonna have our own Mastodon server apparently at some point.
Mastodon server, just God.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening anymore, guys. I don't know. Join our Discord. That's the only social media platform that matters.
It's the only one that matters anymore. Oh boy.
And if for some reason you're listening to the show and you're not into Destiny, I also have a personal one you can join. There's nobody in there, but I just created it. So I don't know.
Okay, so I think this ship is in game, so I can read from it. If not, well, y'all are finding something out early. Generation Shadow. I don't think we've read from this one yet.
I don't think so either.
But it's been in the API for like 2 months, so I feel okay reading this. We are where we came from. I will tell you a story of the whirlwind, Ido begins. She speaks with a solemn intensity. The hatchlings often laugh and coo at her stories, but these young are 2 molts past their hatching, and they know that mention of the whirlwind should silence them. The great machine looms above their rooftop gathering, and Ido almost feels like it is listening too. Ido knows many things, but here her wisdom is fragmented. Misrax Kell never spoke of the whirlwind or those who witnessed it. His mother had, but all Ido knows of her is her name, Inax. Misrax was raised in the Great Machine's absence, what came after the whirlwind, and so this is what Ido shares with the young for now. We live in the presence of the Great Machine, she says, but it was not always so. The young know this. Like Ido, they know the cold of Europa. There is a place called Reese. The mothers and fathers of our mothers and fathers were born there. It is where the Elixni came from. The young know this. Like Ido, they do not know the embrace of Reese. The Great Machine was once above Reese, she says, and as it is now above Earth. The young know this. Like Ido, they know this planet's sky. When it left Reese, the Elixni went to find it. They looked for a very long time, and Ido pauses. She must choose her next words carefully. She must tell the truth. They came to Earth to take it back. But the young do not know this. Unlike Ido, they have not lived long enough to know this sadness. But we share it now, Ido says, with the humans and with the Guardians. Ido knows the unspoken question. The young do not ask it. Instead, they fix their eyes on the Great Machine, and Ido wonders what they see. This, I think this kind of is an interesting addendum to the legends and stories that the Elixni have told their youth for generations. We know how they told the legend of the saint and how they considered him a demon, essentially. And how, they used to paint his helmet to ward off, they thought it would ward off the Guardians. I think this is a different kind of tale. Like, the youth have always been raised that their crusade to take the Traveler back was a noble one. And this reminds me of when we read Survivor's Epitaph last year with Shaxx and Misrax both sharing in the horrors of war that they had experienced. And how Saint and Mithrax have talked about those, just the regrets that everyone has on all sides of this conflict, and how maybe this could have been avoided like 100 years ago. Maybe this could have been avoided back in the past, but it really took someone like Mithrax to say, no, we will not be like this anymore. And if you want to be part of the new Elixni, of a new Reese, you have to lay down your arms, and we will follow those that the machine has blessed. And I think something that we've learned throughout this year is we don't always know why the Traveler does what it does. Why is Elsie in a time loop? Why was Elsie the one that had to come back basically to teach us stasis? Why was she the one who had to guide us along that? Why not Eris or Drifter or somebody like that? Why did it specifically have to be Elsie Bray? And much like that, why is it that it has to be Mithrax to lead them? Is he the only one who truly wanted peace, or is he the only one with the courage of his convictions to actually recognize that the Traveler, yes, it abandoned them because of the darkness. It didn't abandon them because of them, because they weren't worthy. It fled. It was terrified. It fled. But just because you didn't fully get the blessing and you didn't get the ghosts and the power of the light and things like that, doesn't mean it can't come around eventually.
Yeah.
As we saw with the Hive this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only a matter of time until you see some of these Elixni blessed by the light. And it stands to reason the first ones are probably going to be Mithrax and Ido.
Yeah, it seems...
or at least Mithrax, I feel. So... I think my lingering thought and my lingering question is, because Ido isn't that much different from these young ones. You know, she may be the scribe, but she grew up hearing all the same stories and the same legends. And what I kind of focus on is, here at the end, the unspoken question. The young do not ask it. And Ido wonders what they see when they fix their eyes on the Great Machine. I kind of wonder what the unspoken question is here, because what she says before is we share it now with the humans and with the Guardians. I wonder what that unspoken question is.
Yeah.
And I think that's something for us to kind of ponder. Not to make this sound like church, but I think that's something for us to think about as we go into rebuilding the Elixni Quarter during the event. Maybe we'll get another lore drop that'll shed a little bit of light on this, so to speak. But there's a lot of questions, I think, that remain, both for us, you know, in how does this coexistence work, and do my Elixni friends who are constantly trying to get a soda out of the machine there in the hangar, do they wonder about these same questions or not? Why are there like 4 of them living in the tower and all the rest have to live in the slums?
Right.
Does Mithrax have like his own hotel room up here or something?
Oh no. I don't know. Mithrax?
Him and Zavala both go work out the Shaxx's workout tapes.
Oh god.
We're gonna walk into the office and they're gonna be watching a Shaxx video like it's a Richard Simmons video or something.
No.
Corey, get us out of here. We're having bad thoughts. We're building a fitness studio down there.
Shaxx Aerobics.
Shaxx Aerobics. I hope that's the name of the episode. Shaxx Aerobics.
Yep, it is. Writing it
We
down.
talked enough about Crucible.
We did. It's fair. You can follow us on Twitter at Tower Casuals. I want to thank everybody for listening and or watching this episode. Remember, you can maybe follow us on Twitter at Tower Casuals and on Instagram at Tower Casuals. Join our Discord. I don't know if Twitter is dying or not, but if it is, our Discord is the safe space. Elon's not killing our Discord. So
he may take our Twitters, but he'll never take our Discord.
It's true. That is true.
Famous last words.
Yeah. Tomorrow morning we wake up, Elon buys Discord. Oh, no.
Oh, God.
We're going to have to revert back to Facebook groups. No.
No, I'm going back to Tom.
Tom. Josh, where can we find you?
Well, for right now, you can find me on Twitter at Josh_Finn, 2 N's. Who God knows how long that's going to last. If not, seriously, though, the Discord is the place where you can find us. I have it set up to where, you know, people in the Discord can, you know, message me outside of it. I'm bad about checking my DMs, but hopefully I'll be getting better now that I figured out how to get DM notifications on my phone. Yeah, come hang out with us.
Yes.
We have a nice community that we're growing there that a lot of you are a part of. I think this next week we're going to be doing some Master Wellspring runs, trying to wrap up the Gumshoe title for a few of us.
Yep.
So yeah, should be a good time.
Yep.
Corey, where can we find you?
For now, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Corey in HD. I see a lot of people making Mastodon accounts furiously right now, so I guess you can find me there as well. I don't know. I don't even know how to use it. So
I shan't be participating in Mastodon. That's where I draw the line.
you mean instead of a
Nope,
purple?
I'm using this to break my social media addiction.
Mean, how are you going to complain about the Mavs, Josh?
Oh God, my poor friends who watch sports or who don't watch sports in my girlfriend's shoes are gonna have to listen to me complain about it even more.
Oh no,
it's all bad, Corey. It's all shit. It's all shit right now.
It's true. It's true. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and or listening. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Listen to the show. Leave us 5-star rating on whatever platform you listen on. And we will... Oh, no show next week. It's Thanksgiving.
Yes, we're taking a week off for Thanksgiving. So when we come back, Twitter might really be dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Join the Discord to find out what's going on with the show.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Get me out of here.
Goodbye,
everybody.
Get me
Goodbye.
out.